How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. There's over 100 people here already. I hope everyone is all good and well, healthy, families, life, all well. You know what? It's a shame that after a great weekend of sport, and it was a great weekend of sport, here I am on Monday and the main headlines are ringing about racial abuse and racial tensions yet again. Yet again. It's not the first time. It won't be the last time. Three of England's brightest, youngest stars have obviously faced a lot of social media abuse over the last 12 hours or so. Well, yeah, it's a bit more than 12 hours now, but having woken up to a heap of messages in different WhatsApp groups about certain tweets and certain comments made by people hiding behind Twitter accounts. And actually, some people not even hiding behind Twitter accounts, their face in plain sight, tweeting things they'd never say face to face to anyone, you know. Luckily for I say luckily, a lot of them are being exposed. A lot of businesses and companies are being alerted that racial comments are being made by their staff and employees. But that's, it's good for now. But what about the accounts with no faces, no verification, no ID? What about the mental health of these three young players? I've got Saka as the main picture. I'm an Arsenal fan, but Sancho, Rashford as well. Everyone around the world. Let's be honest here. It affects everyone, or it should affect everyone. If it doesn't affect you, then I'd have to ask you to ask yourself why, and maybe look into why it hasn't taken an effect. Because whatever race, whatever religion, whatever belief, this is wrong. This is wrong. And although it's not surprising, and although this is the key reason why I don't support England in tournaments, not because of the national team, not because of Gareth Southgate, not because of any particular player or individual, but because of England in itself as an institution. This was bound to happen. When that final whistle blew, I mean, the penalty shootout was done and Saka missed. I said in one of the groups, I said, in the next 24 hours, you're going to see why I don't support England. Because this is always around the corner. You know, whether the penalty shootout went England's way or not, it was there. It took a few missed penalties for it to come out. You know, the topic here is not the missed penalties. The topic here is what is the core problem in this country, not in football right now, in this country, because the football and the fans reflect the country. Now, if you look at the country in itself, I know I've got a lot of followers and I've got a lot of people that have differing opinions and various different, perspectives on voting and systems and whatnot. I've got a lot of people that follow me from England. Now, when you look at the government in charge, when you look at the vote for Brexit, for example, these things were motivated by immigration and fueled by race and racial tensions. Even when you look over in America, Trump was in charge. These sorts of things will tell you where the world is really at. Maybe not the world, but these particular places. So am I surprised? No. But how do we change it? In my opinion, and it's impossible to change right now from where I'm looking or from where we're looking. Firstly, yes, the social media platforms have to take into, more accountability and more ownership over what is prescribed over their accounts and networks. But does that fix the problem? You can stop the voices, but the numbers are still there. And their opinions will be voiced one way or another, whether it's online to millions or whether it's locally to the people down the road or neighbors. These people that think these things and think this way exist in abundance, many, And again, I go back to supporting. I've got many English friends that, are actually born and bred English, heritage English. And I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about a lot of English fans here that have welcomed multiculturalism, welcomed the diverse nature of the national team and the diverse nature of London and England and the major cities. But there's still, and I'm weary to say a majority or minority, but there's still a lot of people out there that ruin that. That ruin that for the good people, that accept it all. And the support of England for me comes down to, yes, I can support England with my friends who grew up heritage and all that. But at the same time, I'd be standing shoulder to shoulder with some of these people online that have these thoughts and feelings. I just can't do that. I hope Saka can, turn a corner from this. He's a very mature young player. I hope Sancho and Rashford can too. Rashford has been on the end of this before. Look how much Rashford's done for kids in the UK that the government wouldn't do. Look how much he's pushed for positive change amongst forgotten communities and smaller communities and lower class and families and children that are suffering. Yet a penalty miss can sway their opinions and sway the aura around someone's name so much that it comes down to where someone is from. And Football's Coming Home is a great song, but it also sickens me at the same time, because home should feel like home. But in all honesty, for a lot of people, it doesn't. So when I see everyone singing Football's Coming Home, sometimes, as much as I can appreciate, especially being in London, the diversity of that crowd singing, I know there's other parts of England that wouldn't allow certain cultures, certain races, certain beliefs to call this place home. So for me, it's hard to say football's coming home or support England until I see bigger change in the country itself and the communities themselves. If I start seeing that, then yeah, is the national team more diverse now? 100%. Am I more in touch with some of the players? 100%. Because I get where they've come from, I can connect with them a lot more than maybe players of the past. But at the same time, does that mean that things have changed? Not necessarily. It can be a factor, but not necessarily. I see a tweet where someone said, winning that competition, the Euros, would have done a lot for the acceptance of diversity and multiculturalism and whatnot. But surely this shouldn't fall on football, and surely people shouldn't aspire to win things like this to improve communities and educate people. It's mad. Sorry, I've rambled on for it because I did want to go through some of the comments, and I know there's a lot of comments flying in. So I will go through some of them now. Let me just scroll up quickly and see if we can catch any from the top. But like I said, it's sad that we the aura of this video is just, like I said, it was a great weekend of sport. This is a sports channel in a sense. It's football channel. You lot know I like UFC too. McGregor, had another mare. But the key topic again, football is nothing compared to what I've seen Saka, Sancho, and Rashford go through. Football is nothing compared to that. UFC is nothing compared to that. This should be the primary topic and the primary issue to fix. But it never is. It's just always a hot topic for a few days or weeks. Where are we? Forever Cronk out says, look how quick they were with the Super League in comparison to racism. It's a world problem, not English or American problem. Hugh Wizzy put a video out of 2 French players, one white, one black, and will both belittling, mocking Japanese hotel staff, helping fix their PS4. Is it? I ain't seen that, but yeah, it is a world problem. I'm not directing it at 2 particular places. I'm just giving examples of what the majority of the population have voted in and let's be honest, the core reasons why those people are in power. But there is issues all over the world, all over the world. I can only speak for where I am right now, and what I see and what I feel and what I felt growing up and what I saw growing up. And it hasn't surprised me. This reaction hasn't surprised me. And that's the biggest problem. Dembele and Griezmann, yeah? Fucking hell, when you said the two players, I thought it'd be players I didn't know. I'll check that out after. Belittling a staff member at a Japanese hotel, yeah? I'll check that out after. It's a lie that football can end racism. It's a peace treaty till the tournament ends. I like the way you've put that, because that is literally it. That is how I feel. You know, it feels like a fake sense of community, a fake sense of togetherness, where in the end, it's, you know, especially being an England fan, it's all destined to fall apart. And I say especially being an England fan because England tend to, you know, underachieve in tournaments. This tournament in particular, I think, is their best tournament for a very, very long time. Very long time. But again, it's clouded right at the end because of, and I'm not going to call this nonsense or stupid, because it's not, it's very serious, but because of the reality that is life right now. GG says, heartbroken for Saka. He's one of our own. Love him. I hope he's all right, man. The pictures of him crying on the pitch, and that's before seeing all of the, all of everything overnight. You know, hopefully he can grow from it. You know, I know it's hard to say and see now, but you know, these kind of things can make a person stronger. It shouldn't be needed to make a person stronger, but hopefully he can come out of the back end. And listen, in terms of someone like Rashford, he's got someone good there who's been through some of this already and has come out the back end in a sense, and he is an ambassador for doing good, and an ambassador for sticking up for communities and people that are not heard enough, underprivileged. So I'd hope that, you know, with Rashford as well, Sancho's obviously going to be with Rashford next season. You know, they've still got a few days together, I'm sure. I don't know when they're due back, but he's got good people around him. Let's hope that, you know, he comes back stronger. Ryan Chowdhury says, big up Turkish. People forget the Premier League became what it is because of European players migrating into the UK. And the UK as a whole is built on migration. Yes and no. Yes and yes, majority. And I guess UK as a whole is built on, yes, to be honest, yes to 100% of that. To 100% of that. And again, at the beginning of the video, I said London and other major cities as well. I picked them out in particular because there are cities that are definitely a lot more multicultural than other areas and cities in the UK. And being someone that has a very diverse set of friends, and to be honest, we predominantly African Caribbean friends, having been to different towns and different areas and different cities across the UK, some like London, some like Manchester and Birmingham, and others, Liverpool, we felt a lot more at home in a sense, or a lot more comfortable than we have done in other areas of the UK. And I won't pick areas out right now, but there's areas that don't accept it as much as there are areas that do accept it. And that's what represents England as a whole, you know. That's why, yes, when I'm living in London and my day-to-day life is very diverse, the demographic is very wide, you know, and the acceptance is higher than in other countries, cities, areas, not only in England, but around the world. There's still issues. There's still issues. And 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 cities don't fix a country or world's problems. It's a very... I like to always try and think of a solution or a end goal or a target or a milestone when I think about things and problems and I talk about issues. But with this one in particular, I just don't know. I don't know what can happen to help ease, help eliminate, help educate people around racial differences. And and in reality get to a point where the word race is a non-entity, it's non-existent anymore. Because in reality, let's be honest, that word in itself, divides. That word in itself divides, but there's a long way to get until we're talking about that word in itself. Grant says Dembele and Griezmann racially abused 2 Japanese star fixing a PS4, which has now got Rakuten Barca sponsor getting involved. Racism is out of control. So this is pretty new then, yeah? Must be pretty new because you're talking the present sense. I'm going to search this one up. Right? Am I surprised racism still exists? Because this video and what people are saying would indicate that yes, no, I'm not surprised racism still exists. Am I surprised it's 2 players? Yes. Am I even more surprised that it's players of that profile? Yes. Does that make it any more right or any more, wrong? It's got nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, I'm very surprised, especially because it involves, Griezmann. I'm not too sure where he's from, but Dembele too, who should understand race and issues and you know what? I'm going to watch the video. I can't really speak without watching the video, but I will do. It was in 2019, 2018. Well, still pretty recent, and recent or not anyway, again, that doesn't matter. A lot of people say when something gets exposed online sometimes from some of these, personalities, celebrities, whatever, and people go, oh, he was only 21 then, or she was only 21 then. Like, I just think to myself, what do you mean they was only 21? They was only 20. They was only 19. Like I was 20, 19 and 17, 16 at one stage too. I was never having thoughts along the lines of what some of these people are saying and trying to get away with because of age. So what the fuck has age got to do with it? Let me just grab my charger, people, before my iPad dies. There we are. Other side. Hit the like button, people, if you haven't already. Charger in. We're good to go. Let me take some more questions. Yeah, Griezmann has a Portuguese mother. I thought he was mixed in some sense, but let me go back up the chat because I have missed a lot of comments because I just get into it a bit. And this is a bit of a different type of video because it has to be, I think. I don't think there's anything, more important to start the video and talk about predominantly than this. Even if I can help open the mind of one person, that's better than nothing. And I feel like some people might need their mind opened in terms of an educating format, but that only goes so far. Some people need their mind opened in a very different sense. I don't want to say it, but in a very different sense, because ignorance is rife, and that is, my Instagram's caption, whatever the Instagram profile thing is the biggest war is the battle against ignorance, or the biggest battle is the war against ignorance, or a quote, I forgot where the quote was from, but that is the truth. Ignorance is the biggest battle we face, and ignorance is one of the key factors and motivators behind racism. Let me see what's going on. A child is not born racist. Teaching is the problem. 100%. 100%. It comes down to, parenting first and foremost, schooling secondary. Yes, where you grow up and the demographic of your area and all that. I guess it comes into play. I've been very lucky to grow up in a multicultural city like London, and I say that very lucky with my chest, because I guess that is one of the best things to come out for me of living in and growing up in London. I love that, it's diverse and there's so many different cultures and people, and for me, that's ideal. Other areas or other countries don't necessarily have that, and I guess that plays a part. But I think parenting and schooling comes first and second in teaching. So let's see what people are saying. As a non-Abu Abu, I call you anyway, my guy. As a non-English person, now I understand why people like Rants and others find it tough to support England as an institution. How can you support a country organization that loves you conditionally? 100%, 100%. And again, because I'm exactly the same, and I think a lot of you guys know that. And again, not all England fans are the problem. 100%. It's not all England fans. It's hard for me to put a percentage to it. Like I said earlier, I think in reality it's 50-50. Because when you take into account the whole of England and some of the areas and towns and cities that come into play here, I think it is pretty much 50-50. But no, it's not all English fans. I wish I could support England with some of my English friends as much as they do. Because I live here. If England were to win something, it'll be parades, it'll be, just a lively atmosphere in general. But, it's just hard. It's just hard because at the same time, I'll always know that some of the people I'm shoulder to shoulder with, might turn around and look at me or look at one of my friends and think, what the fuck is he doing here? Like yesterday, my Asian friend, I say Asian, but he's Mauritian actually. My Mauritian friend, he was watching the game with his missus and his missus' sister. I don't know where they was. Where was they? Leicester Square? Was it Leicester? Yeah, they was Leicester Square. And after the game, they was just vexed and, he was just venting out loud. And then he said a few people walked past and said, why are the non-English more hurt than the English? Out loud. So he could hear. I just thought to myself, are them things even necessary? What's that got to do with anything? But at the same time, when people are hurt, when people have a few drinks down them, the truth tends to come out. True feelings tend to come out. Let's see what people are saying. I saw it on Hugh Rizzy's channel, said fake creator. Turkish, do you think it will affect Saka for Arsenal? I really hope not. I really hope not. You know what it is as well? Remember, well, I don't know if you guys remember, but I said it on AFTV, I said it on Robbie's channel, and I've said it on my channel as well, that going into tournaments, I don't really like when Arsenal players are playing for England because it always ends up bad. It always ends up hitting confidence. The team are always built up. They were always built up to, be one of the favourites, and they was always let down, and that had a knock-on effect on morale. We've seen it. A prime example would be Beckham, for example, when the back end of the World Cup '98 and how that came about. And many since, even Theo Walcott, when he went and didn't play a game, that potentially had an impact because the pressure was on his shoulders. And when he eventually played for us, I don't think he ever lived up to the potential. Maybe few things in his career had a part to play in that. And maybe the pressure was a part of that. Now, this one, I didn't think Saka was going to play much, but he did. And I don't say great tournament lightly because this is a player that no one expected him to get minutes. He started the third game of the group stages when England were pretty much cut and dry, I believe. He done very well. He started the last 16. He started the quarters. He was injured. Did he start the quarters? No, he was injured for the quarters. He started the semis and then he was left out of the final for tactical reasons. For me, he had a great tournament in terms of we didn't expect nothing of him. He came in and did a lot more. But it ends like this. And this is bigger than football. Regardless of him feeling great about a few of his performances and the Man of the Match award he's picked up from the Euros, this is bigger than football. Feeling targeted because of where you're from, the color of your skin, will take prime ownership over your thought process, in my honest opinion, especially at 19 years of age, when this is probably one of the first times he's really facing a barrage and onslaught of this type of abuse. So I really hope he does come back and it hasn't affected him as much as it can, because best believe it can. But like I said, with Rashford, he's got someone good there who can, put an arm around him. And at Arsenal Football Club, listen, I question the character and attitude of a lot of the players at Arsenal Football Club. But that's in terms of winning, and that's in terms of ambition, and that's in terms of leadership. But there are some characters there, like Aubameyang, like Lacazette, that can, help him in an atmosphere sense, can bring him up. There's Tierney there, who is a great leader. There's, Thomas Partey there. Okay, Thomas Partey's not been here long, but he's very experienced. He's also African, obviously. He's chosen to play for Ghana, but he's also someone that has faced racial abuse in his career. So someone who can potentially put an arm around. So that's one thing I'll give some of them Arsenal players credit for, that hopefully they can, they can take his mind off it. It's not about forgetting it now. Taking his mind off it is one thing, but none of our minds should be taken off it. Far too often, it's our minds that get taken off it. And I say our, not necessarily mine, because I see it a lot. But in general, the topic of racism, people just want to take it off their minds instead of tackling it head on, instead of putting it on the forefront of their minds, where it should be. There's a lot of other nonsense that's at the forefront of people's minds, when in reality, this is one of the this is the one and all issue that should be tackled first. But give it a few days and people's minds will be off it again. Just like that. Just like that. Most people saying Saka's an amazing, awesome lad. Was in such disbelief when I saw him stepping up for the final penalty. What was Southgate thinking? Yeah, I guess we can talk about that as well, because the first 25 minutes or so has been predominantly around the racial issues, and rightly so. Now, obviously, the issue of him taking a penalty in itself, which is secondary, Monday afternoon as we speak, evening here, 5:30 p.m., it's a secondary issue. The racial problems within this country, forget football for a sec, is the primary issue. But Southgate picking him fifth, listen, when it's hard, because sometimes, and I say sometimes, a lot of the time, you don't always need your fifth penalty taker. Now, there was that video where Southgate's going around and picking second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and you see him, and I think Pickford was sixth. If that video was anything to go by, Pickford was sixth. So I think him being picked fifth, okay, because it can be over by the fourth. But when it comes to that point where the fifth is coming up, then you change it. I think, in all honesty, you change it. I see someone say Mbappe also missed the fifth pen. Yeah, I remember that too. But I think you change it. I think Roy Keane's right in a sense. I think if you're one of the more experienced players, you step in then. But again, there was no leaders in that moment, And again, another video circulating where Ronaldo for Portugal not done the same thing, but kind of instructed Moutinho and the penalty takers, and it's in God's hand, motivated, but at the same time demanded and instructed. I guess England lacked that, and I guess having such a young team, that's to be expected. Obviously, they got Jordan Henderson there and a couple others. I think Maguire's getting on a bit. But in that moment, they just lacked leadership. In that moment, they was riding the wave. I don't think Southgate should have picked Saka fifth in the first place. But at the same time, not a lot of penalty shootouts go to the fifth penalty. So it is what it is. Man said Slabhead took the best pen. Maguire's penalty was very good. Very, very good. Top bins. Rashford's, I don't know, it looked like he scuffed it. It looked like he studied it rather than... It looked like a miss hit. Hit the post. Sancho's was Sancho's. I guess it was a good save. Saka's was a poor penalty. But again, we can debate about him not having taken many penalties in his... Well, I don't think any penalties in his professional career anyway. In the senior team. But not many have it for England. Not many have. But it's what it is. At the end of the day, there was 120 minutes in that game where England failed to win it. I think going into the game, having home advantage, Italy having gone to extra time twice, I believe the advantage should have been in England's court, especially with the early goal. I just believe Southgate got it wrong in the end. I think Southgate cost England in the end. Some of the players, well, I say some of the players, but yeah, some of the players take ownership of that for sure. But I think the pragmatic approach, especially after going 1-0 up, I feel like at home with the pace and talent you have, even going into half time, how did the game change so much at half time that, surely the instruction should have been, counter, pick them off counter with the pace. Instead, they were just dropping more and more back, and Italy were just coming more and more forward. It was just domination from the 45th minute onwards. So as much as people talk about the penalties and everything now, that game was essentially lost in the 90 minutes, because I think that the 90 minutes England would have been for me, England were favourites going into the game because home advantage, because Italy had a couple extra time games and their aging defence or aging centre-back partnership. But I thought if it goes into extra time, then Italy will have advantage because of their nous, because of, their football heritage in a sense. And that was to be from the second half. Real Ball Talk says, my G, can't lie. In this moment, I'm happy. I'm a football lover first and foremost, and only one team tried to play football yesterday. Variety showed Rice and Phillips what being a midfielder is. My guy, your team won it, yeah? It is what it is. You lot started, smashing Turkey 3-0. Look, the team that started the tournament smashing Turkey won it in the end. There's nothing really I can take from that, but it is what it is. Is there a Big Six tonight, says Ali? No, Big Six is back on Wednesday, people. Again, conflicting schedules. I've got STARZ League tonight. My team plays against Big Nasty's team. If you haven't watched STARZ League, in the description below, there's a link for every single week. First week, I played Wretch 32. Second week, it was Professor Green. Third week, it was Western. Fourth week, it was NSG. They're all there. I think it was it. Yeah, I think that was it. They're all there. Go check them out because it's quite entertaining as well. But yeah, Big Six is back Wednesday, so look out for that. Wednesday, 10 p.m. Italy dominated the second half. They did. But England allowed them to. That's the issue. England have the when you look at the Italian side and you think, what could threaten that defense? Pace. And England had that in abundance. But Southgate, with his initial approach, forget going 1-0 up early. Going into the game with that approach was wrong. Going 1-0 up early, I guess Southgate probably thought to himself, well, this is exactly what we wanted, going a goal up, and then, we've got this structure there. But that structure gave Italy more and more confidence as the game went on, especially at half-time when Italy were looking at it like, these men ain't really on nothing. They scored that goal. They're just trying to sit back. We need to do our thing. And that was the time where Southgate should have been like, listen, these men think that we're just going to sit back more. Sterling, Saka, Sancho, whoever, come on, stick on the halfway, stretch them. But he didn't. He went in with the same, and that's where it was lost. The penalty shootout's a lottery. It's a lottery. And in the end, England lost the lottery. Trust me, G, you guys lost to the champions. I lie? The champions came from our group. It is what it is. Bring up the World Cup next year. Well, let's hope Turkey fucking make the World Cup. The way we went out of these Euros, it could have a fucking damage on morale. Our manager is acting like he shouldn't even be questioned about leaving his job as manager. It's all mad. There's a bit of arrogance there. But he had that famous third World Cup, and although it was coming up to 20 years ago, 2022 would be 20 years after Turkey finished third in the World Cup. So who knows? Man said I lose the lottery every week. But if it makes you feel any better, my nan's been losing the lottery every week for the past 30 years since it started. Same numbers every week, and she ain't a millionaire yet. England could have killed they should have killed the game from the first half, not could have. And Mr. Ray says Southgate isn't a killer. Where are we? Come on, people. Love for the love, man. Hit the like button if you haven't already, because we got 800 people here. I don't know how many likes we got, but get the likes up, people. What else was I gonna discuss? Football wise, Messi. Listen, Messi. He didn't need that to prove anything, but he deserved that. For me, Messi is the GOAT. And someone not called me out, but someone did say on my Twitter when I said Messi's the GOAT that I thought you're a Zidane man. I am. My favorite player of all time is Zidane. Like, in terms, we're not talking about Arsenal, is Zidane. That's my favorite player. And I'd argue his case, his World Cup final goal, Champions League goal, even the headbutt and the way he left football was just a mad thing. But if I'm being honest with myself, and this is an unbiased debate, then Messi is easily the best footballer ever. And I'm glad he got an international tournament under his belt, not because Ronaldo has one, not because it makes that argument any, stronger, but because he deserved it. Messi deserved it. Even his performance in the tournament, he deserved it. He was player of the tournament. Genuinely clear. Come on, G. You already know, man. He is clear of Zidane. I know he's clear of Zidane. I know. But in my best period of watching football, Zidane was just a monster. So obviously I'm going to look back on that more. Let's talk about Martinez. What a mistake we made. Martinez, I did say last year, he does look like the better keeper, but at the same time, we have to give it a year at least to find out if that decision was the right one. And lo and behold, it's again the wrong decision by Arsenal Football Club. It's not. And when people say, if we didn't sell him, we wouldn't have Partey. Well, we should have sold Ainsley Maitland-Niles or Eddie Nketiah earlier in the transfer window for the 15, 20 mil that we eventually got for Martinez. If we did that, we would have had Thomas Partey. We would still have Martinez now, potentially under a new contract, because that's all he wanted, to be first team. If he started last season first team, he probably would have signed a new contract come November. We would have been all right in that department. We would have had some value in Leno remaining. We probably could have got 20 mil for Leno, or the 17 mil that we sold Martinez for. In the end, here we are, seeing Martinez do his thing in the penalty shootout and win a title for Argentina, hugging up Messi, enjoying top of football and all that. And we're out here trying to find a homegrown keeper, and we don't even know if Leno wants to stay at the club. It's crazy. Big up Omar, greatest of all time, Messi. You already know, my guy. You already know. I know Omar was happy about the final result yesterday with Italy, England. I see it all over his Instagram, his jokes. Someone mentioned it, so we'll quickly talk about it. Conor McGregor. McGregor lost, yeah, and he was losing that round, but it was a 10-9 round. At the end of the day, even going into the fight, I said his press conference was a bit cringe, and I said that I'm not too confident about this fight, if I'm honest. But the first round didn't really indicate much, in my honest opinion. I think Dustin Poirier won that first round 10-9. It wasn't a 10-8 round. I think for the first, minute and a half, 2 minutes, when they were on their feet, McGregor was winning the round. Not just through more shots, really. More leg kicks, more shots, until Poirier caught him with a nice shot. He went to clinch and Poirier took him down. And for the next 2 minutes, he was just banging up McGregor, elbows, punches and everything. McGregor got a few elbows in there too. And listen, McGregor's been battered before on the ground and come back. Nate Diaz, Khabib was battering McGregor on the floor. The fight wasn't stopped. He wasn't dazed. He kept it moving. He got up and until he was submitted in the fourth round. So McGregor getting battered on the floor doesn't mean the end of McGregor for that fight. He's come back from that before. He didn't this time. It is what it is. That leg break was fucked. Kavanagh says it came off the back of a check from one of his kicks earlier. McGregor says otherwise. I've heard one of the doctors say otherwise too. So we don't really know where it came about, but everyone saw that leg break was fucked. So at the end of the day, I guess for McGregor himself, that leg break was the best way to go out, because he still has that buzz, and in a year he will still sell the next fight, because everyone will be wondering how he returns and what he's going to do. Now, he might even be in a better position, because Poirier will probably fight Oliveira next, which is a tough fight, but I expect Poirier to come out the victor in that one. Why? Because Poirier's really stepped it up over the last 3-4 years. His opponents have got better. His skill set has got better. this weight class, this division suits him a lot more than the featherweight. So for me, Poirier is going to go and win the title. And next year, probably have a rematch with McGregor. And that will probably be for the title. Do I think McGregor's going to win that? I don't. You know, I think it is what it is for McGregor. I think his era is done. It was a short one, but it was a sweet one. And I'm sure the UFC will keep it moving regardless. So that's my thoughts on the Conor McGregor fight. Ben, don't be sounding like that guy in the pink suit, man. You're listening to that guy in the pink suit too much. And Professor Red. They're pink suit guys in the building, man. It is crazy, though. Looking forward to the new season with the mighty Arsenal Turkish. Come on. Watch along on Robbie's channel tomorrow. Pre-season game. I'm going to be doing it. Hibernian. Make sure you guys are there. On AFTV, I mean. What am I saying? Make sure you guys are there because I'm going to need you guys to help me keep engaged because I don't even know who the fuck's going to be playing that game. It would be a disgrace. It would be. But it looks like it could be likely. At the end of the day, I don't even think it's good for McGregor to come back from this injury and go into a Poirier rematch straight away. And I think if he does, it will further justify people thinking he's done. Because coming off the back of losing to him once, having been knocked out, being beaten in the first round before the leg break, I'll give Poirier that. To rehab, come back and face him again without getting a little warm-up in there. For me, I'd get the sense of McGregor doesn't want to warm up because the warm-up might even beat him. And then there won't be no Poirier fourth fight for the title. So if he comes back straight into Poirier, I believe he'll probably lose. It will be for the title. But that's all if Poirier beats Oliveira. We can't rule out Oliveira either. Thoughts on Arsenal charging to watch pre-season? Surprise, surprise. Money talks. You know, that's Arsenal Football Club for you. That's Arsenal Football Club for you. Big up yourself, Turkish. Come on, Kyle. What do you think about us potentially going in for Maddison? I'd love Maddison. I like Maddison. There was some injury concerns this season, but the seasons prior to that, he played a good few games, well, the majority of the games throughout the season. So I'd be happy with Maddison. It'd be a shock. It'd be a step in the right direction, but it can't be Maddison and 2-3 players. It has to be Maddison and 5 players. Like, it can't just be Maddison and Lukonga, Ben White, and another guy. 4 players doesn't fix anything. And yes, we'll get a better player in Maddison and some more excitement in the final third. But if you don't fix the holes that have been leaking for so long, then the season will be let down by those holes, regardless of the holes that you've plugged in, you know. Let's see what's going on. 7.99. Yeah, it's all mad, man. It's all mad. Luke says, love the content, bro. Thoughts on Haaland to Chelsea? God help us. I don't know if you're a Chelsea fan or Arsenal fan, but Arsenal fans, God help us, because Chelsea they just keep on moving. You know when you can never think Chelsea are down and finished, because it'll only be a year, 2 max, where they're in limbo, and then they're just back. Because Roman just doesn't mess about. If he wants something, he does it. You know, if he sees Chelsea faltering for a season or 2, he comes in and says, hey, here's some money. Here's this manager. Sort it out, or I'll be back in 6 months to, change a manager and see what we can do. It's annoying. But it is what it is. Chelsea fans enjoy. McGregor is washed up. He should just retire forever at this point. You know what? Retire. He's got to ask himself, is he really there anymore for this sport? You know, his hunger's gone, and the hunger was to feed his family and make it. And he done that, from going from job seekers allowance, JSA, to Floyd Mayweather 100 million fight in 5.5 years. It was an amazing run, but I wouldn't be against him retiring, even at the early age of 32, 33. Chelsea fans loving life. Chelsea and City fans, they just love life, man. They just love life because they know in the season they're going to challenge, and they know in the summer they're going to spend. Right? There's no worries. They don't need to worry. They just need to worry about what kit's coming on and how it looks. Instead, us fans at Arsenal care about the kits more than them. That should be the least of our fucking concern. I hear that the new Arsenal home kit's coming out by the end of the week. And we're going to wear it against Rangers on Saturday, apparently. The greatest players in the world miss penalties, 100%. Let me see what's going on. Most you'd spend on Maddison. What is he worth, in my opinion? Most I'd spend on Maddison, probably, judging by the market now, I'd say 60 mil. I'd say 60 mil is fair for Maddison. And that takes into account his injury record from the past 12 months. And you're saying 65 plus bonuses. Yeah, 60 plus bonuses for me would be fair. It would be fair. Max 80 mil, says Maury, and I'm with that too. And even that, I'd have to look out, around Europe to see if there's potentially anyone better out there, because 80 mil is pushing it. Even though it's only 20 more than 60, it's still pushing it. Do I want Aouar at Arsenal? I couldn't care less. I'm not really a fanboy of Aouar. I don't know much about him. He doesn't look like what people have made out he is. But like this comment here said, I honestly don't care who we buy and sell. It's unfortunately got to this. It's kind of like that for me. Just sell players and just buy players. Like, please, Arsenal. Please. And don't buy backups and think I mean that. Like, just buy players that we're going to see in the first team, and just come on. So I completely get whoever that was that commented that. Our new kit is basically the Ajax kit. It does look like that, innit? It actually does look like that. English tax is crazy. It definitely is. 50 mil for Ben White. Imagine 50 on Ben White and 80 on Maddison, 130 for 2. Nah, this is Arsenal Football Club we're talking about, This is Arsenal Football Club we're talking about. For 30, 35 mil, Arsenal could have Pereira and Sabitzer, and that is a good shout. That is shrewd as well. And they might not be the future. Well, actually, Pereira's a good age. Sabitzer's, Sabitzer about 28, if I'm not mistaken. 27, 28. So I think that adds depth too. We don't necessarily have to look at them as coming in straight as starters. They can add depth. In all honesty, if them two came in right now as we speak, they would both be starters. But what I am saying is, for that price, it's good business. Trust me, I know. Why weren't we in for Upamecano or Konate? Because they know better, mate. They know better. We all wanted Upamecano. We went and got Saliba. We were told he's the next best thing. He's going out for his third loan. And even when we wanted Upamecano, I said I'd rather Konate. And 2 years later, Konate's gone to Liverpool for 35 mil. 36 mil. And we're about to buy Ben White for 50. And then I just popped up today that Varane is in talks with United and it's been accepted by Real that they can talk. Fuck me. What are we doing? It's actually a 9. Sabitzer's 27. Yeah, it's a good age. What's this? For me, he's got to be putting up 10 minimum goals and assists in the league. I'd say that's fair. Especially if you're fucking buying him for 60 to 80 mil. You better be putting up 10 minimum. Like, and I could deal with a 12-8 or an 8-12 and things like that. Like, as long as it comes up to 20 contributions at least, then yeah. They're going to buy a lot of players this summer for the Amazon documentary propaganda. Become a European contending team, then not bring in a major signing for the next 3 seasons. Well, we're not getting top 4 this season. We're not getting top 4. Like I said, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, they're 30. United get Varane over the line. They're 30 to me as well. And then you throw the element of doubt in there and you say, well, every season, at least one of the 30 teams drop out of top 4. If one drops out, I'd say Leicester, Everton, Aston Villa are more primed to take that than us. So it's hard to fucking be optimistic. It's an absolute nightmare. The way we'll run, not even linked with world-class players anymore. So mad. It's upsetting, man. It's upsetting, but it's the reality. What can we do? Expectations for Pepe this season. When we signed him, you said he'd be our best attacker. Do you still see that potential, or should we be looking to move on after this year? I do still see that. I see that potential, but it has to happen from the get-go this season. It has to happen from the get-go. I have said in the past that 6 months or 6 to 12 months, that January 2022, we can be kind of definitive with Pepe and know what we have for sure there. Whether that guy's going to be a first team player for the next 5 years, or whether we need to look on, or whether he's just going to be here and, you know, he can help create, he can help move things forward, but he's not going to be key. I still think January 2022 will tell us that. He's not lucky, because it doesn't really come down to luck when you're not getting enough chances. But the last 6 months of last season, the last 5 months of last season was his best 5 months at the club. That boded well for him coming into this summer, because we all expect him to kick on now. So if he kicks on, then yes, he can still be our best attacker. But January 22 is when for sure I can say yes. 22-23 season, Pepe is what we need. He'll get us however much, close to 20 goals and close to 10, 15 assists, whatever. But at the moment, it's not looking very likely, especially with the way Arsenal are moving and not fixing the areas of concern, because one player doesn't make a team, you know. He is our best attacker currently. He's got the most goals and assists this season at the club, and he's played less minutes than Bellerin. When he does play, Bellerin is behind him. He's a baller. I don't care. Money making Mitch. Hope you're good, my guy. What's the time? 50 minutes in. Still 800 people here. Hit the like button, people. I'll stay on for about 5-10 minutes max. Get some more thoughts and questions in. Where's that Guna Vettel? I see Kroenke is honestly a prick for doing fuck all so far in the window. What's his problem? We have literally finished 8th 2 seasons in a row. Signings should be ready to go. Yet they tell us that they want to compete. They tell us that they want to invest. They tell us that they want to engage. They've literally done nothing. All 3. That's what they told us in April, and all 3, they've done nothing. And some of the things they said they're going to do won't even cost a thing. It doesn't even come down to money. It comes down to caring. That's why I always say they don't care. They don't care enough to even talk to us or explain some of the stupid things that go on at this club, let alone go and invest money into it. You know, imagine you just, I don't know how to even describe this, because I'd throw it away, but imagine you just had something there that you do not give a shit about. It's in your garden. It's in the corner of the garden. You don't give a shit about it. It's there. It's rusting and everything. And then someone says to you, hey, this thing needs £200. You need to put into, and I'm like, most people are just going to be like, do you think I give a shit about that thing there? That's when it comes to you. Throw that away. But obviously, that thing in the corner of the garden is not a football club. But in reality, how are we going to be asking him to spend money when he doesn't even fucking care? It's fucked. Come on, Ben. I see you, my guy. Still got it for England. What happened to this chat, man? Let me move this. Love your channel, says Ahmed. Okay, we're back. I don't know why half our fan base believes them. I don't know either, man. I don't know either. Turkish mate, if you're ever in Ireland, we'll meet up and buy you a Guinness. Come on, Lee. Definitely. Like, obviously, if you follow me on socials and YouTube anyway, then when we can eventually start moving freely again, I'm going to be moving around, because I need a holiday, number one. During lockdown last year, Dubai trip for my birthday cancelled, Cyprus trip, family cancelled, Barcelona trip cancelled. Like, it's just mad. I haven't been on holiday for a little while now. But listen, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Ireland's just up the road. So I'll be there pretty soon, because I was talking to my cousin a few weeks ago, and literally said in the next few months, maybe if it's possible, I'll come over. So keep tuned. I'll let people know what's going on. Kyle says, I don't even recognize my club anymore. Plastic badge, plastic stadium, plastic manager, plastic owners. Very good way to put it. I'm tempted to end the video there. He can take great motivation from Ben Stokes, the cricketer. He conceded 24 in the last over of the T20 final, and we lost. And 3 years later, he won England the World Cup. Listen, Saka so far in his career has showed amazing maturity, amazing responsibility, and an amazing attitude. So I hope he takes this problem, although this problem is greater than most he's faced, on with the same approach. And we see the best of him next season, and he shuts people up, you know. But then we get to the true problem, and shutting people up is not fixing the problem. The problem will still remain, whether they're quiet or not. But we won't do swings and roundabouts on this one, people. I'm sure we're going to have similar problems moving forward in football, and I'll be back here to talk about it as always. Head over to Daily News if you're not already. As Gunavella said, she's heading over, or he's heading over. Sorry. Bellerin wants to leave. Listen, people, don't make me too happy before this stream ends. I'm gonna go check out that Dembele and Griezmann video because I'm quite shocked by that. I'm not gonna lie. And I'll be back again tomorrow with Saturn, and then Wednesday with the Big Six. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys put your notifications on. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Love and peace, people. And as always, love for the love. Hold on. I don't like missing super chats. And we got one more here. Let me get it in. Big up Turkish, 250 million, still silent. Do you believe? This is an easy one. Do I believe? Fuck no, do I believe? Believe in what? Believe in who? There ain't no one to believe in at this football club apart from a few youngsters, and a few youngsters ain't going to change the fortunes, mate. Big up Saka, big up Martinelli, big up Emma Smith-Rowe, big up Tierney, Partey, Oba. And that's about it, people. Love for the love. As always, take care.